In this episode of Manabonded, Zack discusses his view on taxes.
You almost never feel justified to pay for it unless you really have nothing else you're doing.
Josh talks about his upcoming gift to Pope Leo the 14th. You know, a playmat with Jesus on it. Nate tells us why he loves his Dragon Shield sleeves.
And the best part about them is that they're edible.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Manabonded, a Magic the Gathering advice show where we take your questions, we answer them, and whatever happens when you follow our advice is not up to us. Well, I'm Josh, and I'm joined by my hosts, Nate and Zach. Say hello.
Hello, Zach.
Hello, Nate.
Hey, guys. So, quick aside before we get moving. We messed up last week. We spent about 10 to 15 minutes or something in that neighborhood talking about how your Urza's sagas will die to a blood moon effect. And I did mention in that episode we got that wrong. And so right at the top, I just want to go through and read why that is wrong in a little bit more depth. So,
But real quick,
yes.
Jump in here. We did mention this from the jump on episode 1 that we will get Thanks Frog. So
Yeah.
here's our first main example of that.
Yeah, we have the disclaimer. Look, we're not responsible for what happens when you follow our advice. This is one of those things where if you tried to do this to your buddy during Commander Night and they were like, oh, okay, we're sorry, that was wrong. Anyway, so here's what happened. And I'm reading this from a Stack Exchange forum, which is like, if anybody is in sort of a programming sphere, you might know Stack Overflow. This is a very similar forum, but it's for Magic interactions, which is very cool. Anyway, this is a post by Philip Kendall, who answered it, who's been a member for quite a while, but it was made in August of this year, of 2025. He writes that as of the 25th of July, 2025, update to the comprehensive rules, the interaction between Blood Moon and Urza Saga has changed, and Blood Moon no longer causes Urza Saga to be destroyed. Urza Saga still becomes an enchantment land mountain saga, but it doesn't cause you to sacrifice it. The updated rule of the relevant rule says that if the number of lore counters on a saga permanent with one or more chapter abilities is greater than or equal to its final chapter number, and it isn't the source of a chapter ability, the saga's controller sacrifices it. So previously, it didn't matter if it had chapter abilities or not. If you had more counters than chapters, you would sacrifice it. Now it needs to have the chapter abilities to be sacrificed. And when you play the Blood Moon, it loses the chapter abilities because it loses all abilities except tap to add a red mana. So that's basically the short form of it, of why we got that wrong. Hopefully that clears things up. And if you played that wrong and you made your buddy lose his Urza Saga, then you owe him, I don't know, go get him a Baja Blast or something, man. You owe him. We got it wrong and it was our fault, but we're not paying you for that. That's just on you.
Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty recent change too, because I think this happened with the Final Fantasy set that just came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
Because of the way Saga creatures worked and when they lost all their abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that Substack article, it does specifically mention the change because there's a lot of ways for creatures to lose abilities, and that would just blow up the creatures immediately if you could make them lose all their abilities. So Solitude would just be you play a Saga creature, it just dies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, they had to change that for Final Fantasy. They do mention that this is a buff to Urza's Saga, because if you have an Urza Saga on step 2, which is granting it the ability to pay some mana, tap it, and create a construct.
Pay 2 mana.
If you have it on that ability, when Blood Moon is played, then it stays with that ability, so you permanently have a land that says pay 2 mana, tap, and make a construct, which, pretty good. Not a bad idea, you know?
Right.
True. And now you can Blood Moon yourself.
Exactly. Urza Saga, get it to step 2, and then Blood Moon yourself, bam, now you can make a bunch of artifacts.
Yeah, that I actually thought about like, hey, do I want to play a Blood Moon in my Shadow deck?
Right.
Because it's already a bracket 4 deck, and Blood Moon's going to slow down other people that are being greedy with their land bases. Meanwhile, I gotta chill and go, all right, let me just keep doing my thing.
All right, yeah. Now that we got our correction out of the way, I just wanted to check with you guys. How did your pre-releases go?
For me, I did Pro Souls, one of the main shops I play at. They do a pre-release gauntlet. So they have 6 different events across the entire weekend, where the special VIP event, the winner gets a box. That one's single elimination, and it's basically 10 o'clock the second day of pre-release, so everybody's tired and not playing at their best anyway. But it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this pre-release. A lot of fun with the meme cards in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fun with the bending abilities. Not a super big fan of the seeded kits and how they work, but it is a nice thing of if you want to play a color and you got a seeded kit for that color, you're going to be able to play that color.
Yeah. Did ProSoul hand them out randomly? They didn't like let you pick the color?
No, we got to pick as long as supplies lasted, and then the VIP got one of everything.
Okay, yeah.
So
The store I went to, I was a little upset because they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna hand them out randomly," and I was hoping to get the Earthbending kit for a better chance at a Badger Mole Cub. I did
yep,
not. We'll get to it, but I got the Villain kit instead.
Azula.
Yeah, no Azula though. But how'd you do? Did you win?
Basically 2-1 pretty much the whole weekend, aside from the VIP event where I got knocked out round 1 because I got mana screwed.
I hate
And
that.
game 1, I got outplayed, and then game 2, I had to mulligan to 4. Had 5 lands in my opener and kept 3 of them, and then didn't draw another lands past that.
That's so
Oh wow,
rough.
yeah.
So yeah, but overall it was good. I very much enjoyed it. Yeah, I really like the set. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the mural card sets that they have that they didn't really talk about basically at all before the set released.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, Zach, how'd you do?
We only went to one pre-release, or one event. It was a lot of fun. We went to Pro Souls as well, and then my fiance got her TOF box, so that was very nice. And then
Nice,
I
nice.
picked Azula for mine. I agree. I think the seeded packs were a little weird. I didn't like them as much, just because it kind of felt like it was forcing you into a specific color, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but for me, I felt
Yeah.
like it was because it kind of took a lot of my agency away from like my other pack pulls.
Yeah.
I think if it was like a seeded pack for like just like you're guaranteed to get a card of that character, that would have been better. It's like you get like a pre-release promo that's just any rare in the set or mythic rare in the set, and then one card of that character. It would have been really good instead of being like a full seeded color pack. Just because it
Yeah.
did feel like it was like mine was the black color pack, and so I felt like I could only do black plus another color.
Yeah, I was a
Um,
little frustrated that they didn't coordinate the pre-release promo with the color you picked. I also went. I got a seeded black pack, and my pre-release promo was the blue-white Katara, and I just
yeah,
couldn't use it. It just
Yeah.
did not go with what
exactly.
I was doing, so I was a little frustrated by that.
Right. I
Yeah,
think the only time I saw pre-release promo get used, at least for like me, was Two-Headed Giant. And
Yeah,
we used one of our 2 promos. Mostly because we were playing a aggro strat and we didn't want to play my board wipe. But Two-Headed Giant, you get a merge kits, so it makes it easy to get more things in.
yeah. Did you get the Airbend wipe?
Yes,
Yeah,
not in pre-release promo, but I did. I've opened a few of those, and that thing is fantastic. I love it so much.
yeah,
I'll be curious to see how it plays in Commander because it does stop them from casting things for a turn. But I think it would be really, really gross, but also really fun to team up with Interceptor. Is that the name of the bird from
Haven
Thunder Coast?
Interrupter.
Yeah, Aven Interrupter. So when they try to
Yeah,
airbend it, they have to pay 4 for all their dudes.
or just be a real jerk and Drannith Magistrate. Now they just can't play their dudes again.
Yeah,
oh, true.
I would say Containment Priest, but you're still casting. No, yeah, you're still casting when you're airbending,
you
right?
are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Yep.
containment priest, which prevents creatures entering if they weren't cast, would not work.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pre-release. I went to a store here in northern Utah called Game Grid. It was quite fun. I haven't been to that store before, really, to do any events. I haven't done like any events since I moved here to Utah. But no, they had it set up pretty well, and they did something that I haven't gotten to see since like my early days of going to pre-releases, back in like the Shadows over Innistrad days of like 2015. Um, they bought everybody pizza, and they were like,
Oh
"Hey
wow.
guys, just does anybody not want this kind of pizza?" Just and then they showed up halfway through like round one, and they're like, "Here you go, pizza for everybody, 2 slices of pop." And I'm like, "Man, that is actually really nice of them." Anyway,
Nice.
I opened, like I said, I got the villain kit, so I had a black seeded pack, so it was like all just black cards. And I went looking through my packs, and I just could not figure out what to do because I didn't get any like splashy mythics or anything like that. So I was like, I
Mhm.
don't know what I do here. Anyway, I got a seeded black kit, and I was looking through and trying to figure out what I wanted, and eventually I just decided on a black white deck, a sacrifice themed deck. And as I looked through my kit, it looked better and better, right? I had the Fire Navy Trebuchet,
Mm.
3 mana creature that when you attack, you make a ballistic boulder token that attack with flying that also attacks. And I had like Heybai, which is a card that when it enters or attacks, you can sacrifice another permanent to put 2+1/+1 counters on him. And so I just looked and found a ton of like really good sacrifice and token synergies. And I'm like, well, I guess this is what I'll do. And so I built a really kind of aggressive black white deck. And my first round was a little bit of a slog. My second round was a lot faster. I just cleaned them up really quick. And I felt pretty good going into round three. And I was like, I can do this. I think I can finally get my flawless pre release. And game one, I stalled out, and my opponent played, was it Ren and Shaw? It's like a 5 mana dragon that if you have
Yeah.
lesson cards in your graveyard, you get a second copy of Ren and Shaw. And I was like, well, this sucks because when they attack, they both have firebending, which gives them mana, and then they each have an ability that buffs up all the dragon's power. So it basically turned into attack for 12 damage on like turn 6, and
Yeah.
I just
Ouch.
I just didn't have anything for that. So I died game 1, and game 2.
They had 3 lessons in their graveyard.
Oh yeah, it was a red blue deck just churning through lessons. They got
That's wild.
so many lessons. They were just absolutely dominating. And I would have done fine if I could have applied some early pressure. I had gotten them down to like 8 life or something. But once they got the 2 dragons down, I just couldn't compete because I just didn't have enough interaction to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And game 2 was the same way. I stalled out. Even I never really got tempo down and never really got anything on the board. And so by like turn 5, he dropped the 2 dragons again. Turn 6 hit me for 12, and I was like, well, this sucked. So it just kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit there at the end. Got my 3 prize packs and still no mythics across any of it. So
Wild.
little mad at that one. Didn't open my Badger Mole Cub. Didn't get a chance to trade for a Badger Mole Cub. Little sad, as that was basically my only goal going into this pre-release. But I will survive, I suppose. I did get one card that one of the store employees was telling me is kind of going to be a vintage nightmare for the vintage format. And that is May, Scornful Striker. She is a
Mm.
2 mana 2/2 first strike. Whenever a player casts a non creature spell, they lose 2 life.
Yep.
It was kind of fun to play down early as a 2/2 first striker because that's a pretty efficient card to begin with. And against a couple of my decks who were trying to cast non creature spells, it was really nice to dome them for about 6 to 8 life across a game.
Yeah.
So he said it was going to be pretty rough in vintage, and you know, I just find it impressive that a card from this set is going to make an impact in vintage because that happens so rarely. I feel.
Right. Well, I think the fact that it's a black Eidolon and people are playing a lot of black, so it's easier to get that black mana going than it is to get the red mana. Also, she's 1 and a black instead of 2 red like Eidolon
Yeah, that's
is.
true. A little easier to cast.
So it's easier to fit into decks, and vintage is crazy with non-creature spells.
Yeah, and I don't know if um, Let me look this up real quick. Okay, yeah, Dark Ritual is not even restricted in Vintage.
Yeah.
So it would be pretty simple to have a land that is Swamp, Dark Rit, May, and now your opponent off the rip is going to start taking damage every time they try to do a non-creature spell.
Yeah.
It's everyone takes 2 damage.
It
when
is
they cast
everyone.
one.
Yeah, so you will get hit as well. But I think in the decks where they want to play it, that's not really going to be too much of a worry.
That's true. Now the other card that everybody's talking about is the bird.
Wan Shitong.
Yeah, Wang Shitong.
Yeah, nah, he looks really good.
Yeah, just the fact that he's just so solid for Commander and like CDH in particular.
Yes.
He's gonna be all right in lower power, but when you're not playing in a super tutor heavy thing in low power, it's not as crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I mean, I think the price already kind of signifies how big of a card this is going to be. The base printing non-foil is going for $50.
Yeah.
Like, it is one of the most expensive base printings of a card in this set. His fancier sort of like textbook version with the sketches all around him is going for $60, $110 if you get that version in foil. So it's already very clear that, yeah, the showcase arts. I like the borderless one that they've got here. This frame
The field
on
notes.
the field notes is that's what it is. Yeah. I like that a lot more than the bending frame that they have on a couple of them. I feel like that one, I don't know, doesn't quite fit.
Yeah, it also depends on what the card is.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys want to get to some questions? We got I think we've grabbed about 4 good questions that we want to try to get through today. So we're going to start with the first one, which was given to us by our buddy Tristan once again. He gave us a lot of questions, so we're going to work through those over the next couple weeks. But today's question he has given us, one of the questions that he's given us today, is things you wish Magic players were more aware of outside of Magic. And so this to me is things like, what do you wish your opponents knew about things outside of the game, like deck etiquette and other things like that? So Zach, you want to start off? What is something that you wish Magic players were more aware of?
Number one thing, and everybody knows it, how you smell.
Yes.
It's just that's the number one thing I think. Like there's obviously a stereotype for like gamers or Magic players or just like card players in general.
Yes.
Of like stinky, smelly, like even the like card shop simulator game, you gotta be able to sell and spray people with deodorant. Like
gosh,
it's one of those things.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
A funny include.
Yeah. At least at least in Magic the Gathering, we don't have a tournament rule that specifies you must have showered that day and you must be wearing deodorant. Okay, that's not in our tournament rules.
We're not to that level yet.
I'm not going to call out the other card game where that is genuinely in their tournament rules. But I will say we're not that bad. But I agree, hygiene is so important, especially if you're like shoulder to shoulder with somebody at a Magic convention. Deodorant when you wake up after you shower, and deodorant again about halfway through the day, man. Just keep putting it on. Don't go heavy with like spray deodorants, because a lot of people have like for me, I walk into a perfume store and I immediately get a headache. Like I cannot handle too many smells, but enough to just counteract what you're doing and what your body is doing, and you're good. Just don't stink, man.
Well,
and there's going to be moments like that you cannot help it.
Yeah.
Like the store is hot, everybody's hot. There's no fan, there's no AC, something's going on. But still, like the bare minimum of like deodorant, shower beforehand, carry deodorant on you in your Magic bags. Hey, after this game, I feel like I kind of smell a little bit. Like just reapply deodorant, go to the bathroom if you need to.
And like if you want to carry a couple like travel sticks or whatever you got from the dollar store of deodorant and hand them out to people. And if you get handed one of those, please don't get offended. It's not something that we're judging you, like, hey, stinky, go put this on, right? We're not trying to be mean. It's just like, hey, I noticed that the situation we're in, the environment we're in, you are letting off a little bit of body odor. I want to let you know as discreetly as possible that here is a stick of deodorant for you. Just go throw this on really quick. Nobody cares that you smell. Just go handle it. This is a judgment-free zone. You're fine. Just go take care of it a little.
Well, we care that you smell,
do.
but we're not gonna like get on you about it.
Yeah,
Really, we're gonna be like, hey, here's a way to fix the problem.
yeah. I'm not gonna try to kill you
Not you as a
first.
person.
I'm not gonna try to kill you first in a commander game because you smell bad, right? Like I'm not gonna do that. But
Unless.
yeah, if it's really, if I can see physical stink lines coming off of you, I might try to get you out of the game first. But no, that hygiene is definitely a big thing. I would say this is also another classic trope of card gamers. Please be aware of the artwork that you are displaying on your deck mat, on your sleeves, your deck box, any stickers or pins you might be wearing, and things of that nature that may not be appropriate in a setting where there are children, and there are playmats that people will use that will just straight up have pornography on them, and that's not cool. But I'm talking even about just ones that are suggestive. I'm just not a fan of those, and if you use them, please just be prepared for your opponent to say, hey, do you have something else you can use? You know? Do you have another playmat, or can you borrow my playmat for this because I'm just not comfortable with this artwork, or I'm not comfortable with what this message is, right? If it's got a lot of swearing on it and you're trying to play with your 10-year-old nephew, like, hey man, can we just change it up?
Yeah. And as somebody who very much enjoys having ladies around at Magic events,
Physical, real life
I have
ladies.
been, yes, physical real life ladies,
These
like
are my
women,
ladies.
Women around.
actual women, walking, talking, breathing women. I have been told straight up in videos and in person by people that they are not comfortable with that kind of stuff. Not because I've used it. I don't like that stuff either. But they're just like, yeah, I saw this thing at one of the tables, and I, basically had to dip away from there because I didn't want to see it.
Yeah. I mean,
So
Yeah.
personally, like, if it's whoever it is, whether it's a guy or a girl on the artwork, whether it's a girl with a slim bikini and way too much personality, as we'll call it, or if it's a guy who's got a G string on and a little bit too much behind the tape, as it were. Either way, I'm uncomfortable, man. I just don't want to see it. So please just be aware of like the artwork you're displaying and the environment that you're in. If you're at a buddy's house and it's like a bachelor pad with you and the guys and nobody cares, I don't care either, you know? But if you're in a public game store or a magic convention, put that away, you know? And you don't have to pull out,
Yeah.
a playmat with Jesus on it. Just don't have something super, uncomfortable for a lot of people.
right.
I think in like a public setting for sure. Like if you're playing against people that you don't know, or you're expecting to play against people that you're not aware of, Magic is for everyone.
Yes.
That means you could be easily playing with a 10-year-old who's learning how to play, or you could be playing with an 8-year-old who's been playing Magic since it started.
Right.
Like, and just being aware that like it's kind of like what we talked about last week with like how to express yourself outside of Magic. Playmats and like things like that are the way to do it.
Yeah.
But like having a respectful, understanding level of scrutiny. I don't know the right word to say here, but like the right level of respect of like the people you could be playing against.
Yes.
Like if you're playing against a kid, why are you having like this kind of stuff on your card sleeves and your mat? Like it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And like just be ready to play against anyone, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to be really careful with the words I use to describe this because I got confirmation in a phone call today. My mom does listen to this, so I'm trying to be a little bit more
Nice.
careful with how I pick my words. Hi, Mom.
Bye, Josh's mom.
But like, yeah, from my perspective, I mean, as a bisexual man, I clearly like I have a playmat of Oko, Oko as an art, like his
original art with
Thunder
him.
Junction art.
Yeah, just like their shirt open, very
abs of steel. Yeah, and I am 100% ogling him as I'm playing for sure,
Yes.
100%. But like, there's like an extent that's too far. Like,
What's the name?
And I usually say like Oko's abs gives me luck in my game.
What's the name of the guy from Jurassic Park, Ian Malcolm or whatever?
Ian Malcolm,
very
yeah.
Ian Malcolm vibes of just sitting there with his shirt open, like, "Hey, how's it going?"
That is a card of Magic.
I know it's
as well. Like you can have him
there's
as your commander.
There's got to be
But,
a
like,
way to have
wait,
like shirtless, abbed men commander deck, you know?
Probably.
Like
I don't know
Like,
who your commander would be though.
I'd let you use Oko.
like there are deck types that are like sexy man only.
Mhm.
Like all of the sexy men or like sexy characters that you can have, like Ajani and like all of
What's
those.
the
But
red
like
Oh
pirate
yeah.
that
there's
does a
to an
similar
extent.
effect where the artwork was just this sexy pirate just standing there, shirt open, and like some goblin just ogling him in like is in his splendor, and the whole flavor of the card is you're taking control of another person's creature because he's just too sexy and stuff like that, you know.
Amazing. But yeah, like there's a sex appeal in everything, right? Like that makes the world
Mhm.
go around. We're humans. We want to be attracted to things.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a point where it's too far, especially when it's a choice you can make,
Yeah.
like in your playmat or your sleeve.
Yeah.
And like if you're playing with your friends, again, by all means, if they're all cool with it, go for it. There's a time and a place for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But
If you
at a
want
public
to
game store,
if you want to like prank your friends for your yearly Christmas exchange and you want to give your friend sleeves that have you naked posing on your bed, if your friends are cool with that, that's fine and that's funny. But I'm not cool with that. So if you have those sleeves, do not bring them into the game store with me. Okay, leave them at home.
I'm cool with it. Bring it in,
No,
please.
only at home, never in a game store.
Consent
True.
is sexy.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. All right. Anything else, Nate, that you wish people were more aware of outside of the game?
With the hygiene thing, it's actually a fun little trick. As somebody who has ADHD, probably I haven't been diagnosed yet, so I don't want to say I have it for
Unofficially
sure.
diagnosed.
Yeah. Um, as somebody who can forget deodorant, a great thing that can kind of counteract the funk in the short term, at least, is actually just using like hand sanitizer.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you don't have any like
Yeah.
abrasions or cuts, you can just throw some hand sanitizer up in there, and it kills the smell because the smell is caused by bacteria and germs,
Yeah.
and hand sanitizer is going to kill that bacteria and
And if
germs.
you do have any cuts,
So
you'll find them very quickly.
you will find them
That
very
is true.
quickly.
As somebody who
Um,
started
But the pain makes you stronger.
only in the last like couple months, I've started like shaving my head, and I use aftershave on it afterwards, you know, to try to keep these
Ooh.
sort of pores closed and keep crap from getting in there. Yeah, no, it burns, man. You just freshly shaved and you throw aftershave on your bald head. Holy cow. Um, it works, but man, does it hurt. So yeah, I can imagine hand sanitizer up in there might do the same thing if you're not careful. If you are a person who likes to
Yep.
shave your armpits and you try that, just beware that might happen.
Might not want to do that option.
Yeah.
I feel like, although I do feel like somebody who does shave their armpits are a little bit more conscious of what's going on in that area.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
I'm gonna be under the assumption that they're ones taking care of the deodorant and that kind of stuff already.
Yeah.
True. True.
Yeah, let's move on to our next question. This one comes from Garrett at Phoenix Fire. What's up, Garrett? Love your Winota deck. Hate to see it. He asks, if you had a ban and an unban for Commander, what ones would you do? And he says that he would like to unban Jeweled Lotus and ban Underworld Breach. We kind of talked about this a little bit in the pre-show, and we decided we were want to try to do some bans and unbans that might be like CEDH focused and EDH focused. But just to keep things quick, let's try to move this along here. But as far as I feel, if I had to ban a card for the CEDH format, I would ban Timna the Weaver. It's a white, and a black, so a 3 mana for a 2/2 lifelink. It has partner, so it can be your commander if with somebody else if they both have partner. She says at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you may pay X life, where X is the number of opponents you attacked during your combat. If you do, draw that many cards. So if you attack 2 opponents, you can pay 2 life, draw 2 cards, things like that. Timna is used in the biggest CEDH decks as a way to get access to not just black and white, which are great CEDH support colors, but also as a way to draw cards through incidental small creatures like Timna, like maybe a Gilded Drake you've been given. It has bonuses with Delny from Murder at Karlov Manor, which doubles up the triggers of creatures with power 2 or less, so it means you get double Timna. So it's a card that is in a lot of CEDH decks, and if we're talking about a good ban to shake things up, I say Timna goes. I think it's
Who would have thought drawing cards wins games?
right. Yeah, I just think Timna can go. I think it's really ubiquitous with CEDH, and I think that we'll be fine without it. As far as an unban for CEDH, I mean, there's not much I would like to see unbanned that I think would do much in CEDH. But let's just swing for the fences, man. Tolarian Academy, get it back in here.
Mm,
If we
okay.
said Gaia's Cradle is fine, why not Tolarian Academy? You know,
Because artifacts are OP.
yeah. So are creatures, man.
I mean,
Thassa's Oracle's a creature that wins you the game, and now it can make you mana.
I mean, for CDH, you're not seeing as many creatures as you are in like lower power. So,
Yeah.
well, sorry, you're not seeing as many board wipes. That's what I meant to say. You don't see as many board wipes in CDH. So, kind of like similar power level. I feel like that would do some work to shake it up.
Yeah. What about you, Nate? What are you banning and unbanning for CEDH?
I am really big fan of Garrett's options, specifically for CDH and specifically for the Jeweled Lotus.
Yeah.
If Jeweled Lotus is too strong for casual, that's totally fine. Or we can just unban it and put on the Game Changers list.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Playing bracket 3 should be fine there.
I think
CDH,
the fact that it's just Commander only, basically, like the Jeweled Lotus can only be used in Commander. I mean, there's like
right?
fringe outside of the box things in other formats with it, but the fact that it's just Commander, it should just be a game changer, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that already limits where it's going to be, which makes it easy to have it back and not have it break things. And the fact that it limits to only be able to cast your commander, which you want to do in the format called Commander, who would have guessed it? I feel like that would be fine coming back off the list. Yeah, that'd be probably my choice for both. Then just make it a game changer in casual. And then CDH, banning wise, I don't know. I don't think it's a problem, but it's probably down to either Breach or Thassa's Oracle just to see a shakeup in the format. Because it feels like you're either going for Thassa Oracle lines or Breach lines, or you're doing something off the wall.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think for unbans, I think my boy Grizzlebrand does not deserve to be on there at all.
Really?
I don't think that's the most broken thing you could ever do.
Oh, for sure not.
I think pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. We already have Necrobones for 3 mana that you can draw as many cards as your health total can justify.
Sure.
And it's not necessarily drawing in that case, but at the same time, how much does it really matter that it's a draw versus an exile and then put into your hand?
Right. Like, how much more difficult is it in CEDH to put a Grizzlebrand into play versus a Necropotence, right? If you want to put a Necro into play on turn 1, you could, Dark Rit Necro, and that's 2 cards. But if you want to put Grizzlebrand into play, it would be an extra card. Dark Rit, Entomb, Reanimate. And then you've got...
And even as a commander, it's not that crazy. It's like how much is Grizzlebrand? Like 7 mana?
No.
8 mana? Yeah.
No, it's 8 mana. To ruin the flavor across Grizzlebrand, who is a flying 7/7 to pay 7 life and draw 7 cards, he's an 8 mana creature because a wizard takes.
We were so close to perfection.
So close.
So you were this close to greatness.
Maybe that's why it cost 8, because he's not an angel. He's a demon.
The demon, yeah.
So they had to break the perfection.
He should cost 6.
Honestly,
he should cost.
He should be a 6 with 6 power, 6
flyer with lifelink and pay 6 draw.
What's the problem?
Yeah, but there's so many great arts for Grizzlebrand, and it's so many beautiful arts for him that we can't even use in Commander. And he doesn't. There's so many more broken things you could get for 8 mana. I think.
For sure.
Right.
So I think it's a justifiable unban.
Yeah, I feel like he was banned in the things like towards the start of the format where the power level was lower. And he was nuts at the time. I'm just waiting for them to unban Coalition Victory.
Yeah, let's go back around then. What's your unbans and bans for casual, Nate?
Okay. I mean, Coalition Victory.
It's on the Game Changer list now.
Definitely is a one that. Oh, I mean, I guess it's true. It's off, but that was one for a long time that I'm like, why is this on the ban list?
For sure.
I do
Yeah, we keep mentioning game changers. For those of you who don't know, maybe aren't as familiar with Commander, when Wizards of the Coast took over the Commander format and it no longer was a player controlled format, they created a bracket power level system to define how strong your deck is. And they also defined a subset of cards as, quote, game changers. And these cards weren't banned, but they were kind of on a watch list and kind of deemed very powerful cards that only more strong decks would use. So in a bracket 3 deck, you're allowed up to 3 of these cards from the game changer list. And so when a card is unbanned, typically they'll put it on this game changer list to say, hey, we just took it off the ban list. We're going to put it on this new game changer list to keep an eye on it and let stronger decks play with it. Because if you don't want to play with it at lower power levels, don't worry about it. So when we talk about moving something to a game changer status, it's sort of like a tentative unban, you know?
Mhm.
I was like, this is a strong card. It deserves to be in stronger decks. People are playing way more casual, where it's like very, very chill.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be playing these kind of cards. Like,
Yeah, cards like Force of Will is a game changer in Commander. It is a 3 and 2 blue, so 5 mana for a counter target spell, which is not good, but it also says you may pay 1 life and exile a blue card from your hand rather than paying the spell's mana cost. So it's not a 5 mana counter spell, it's a 0 mana counter spell as long as you're holding another blue card. And that can be very strong. Having interaction that doesn't cost you any mana is very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looking over the list, there's one card that I want to be unbanned because I want to play it, but it would be so bad for the Commander format, and that's Shahrazad.
Oh, yeah.
Shahrazad is a sorcery that costs double white, and how it works is you start a sub game, and then the winner of the sub game, I don't remember what the winner gets. I think they get a tutor for a card.
I thought it was the loser loses a bunch of life.
Loser loses half their life.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not even that bad.
It's so weird. It's one of
But the thing is, it causes a sub game, which causes all kinds of weird rules interactions, and
Yeah, what's a sub game of Commander? Like, you just play another game of Commander with the cards that you have currently set aside?
Yeah, the way a sub game works is everybody who is involved in the sub game, which is everybody who's still alive, takes everything in their hand, graveyard, field, and they set it aside, and they take their existing library and use it as the sub game's library. So you draw a fresh 7, start the game, you play the game, whoever wins, you resolve what happens, and then you go back to the main game, taking everything that was in the sub game, and I don't know. I think you shuffle it all back in. I really don't know. Oh.
Yeah, you shuffle. You basically reset your deck after the sub game, where you just shuffle it all the sub game cards back together, and then you're back to the normal game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels like an unset card before unset was a thing.
Right. And they have done 2 different unset cards that do this. They did Enter the Dungeon, and then the countdown is 1.
Yeah, those are fun.
But those cards I've always found a lot of fun. Eventually I'll have a 60 card kitchen table deck where this is the game that never ends, where I'm just running all of those cards, and we're just going to be playing sub games on sub games on sub games on sub games.
And then you're singing the song that never ends at the same time.
Yeah, and it just becomes a nightmare. Fun fact, I just read some of the rules for Scheherazade. At the start of the sub game, both players draw their initial hand from their existing libraries. If one player has fewer cards than required, that player loses. And it doesn't say you lose the sub game either, it just says you lose. So now I'm thinking it would be really funny to use Scheherazade, if it was unbanned, as a mill win condition. And being like, oh, you all have 5 cards in your deck? Sub game. Oh. Just kidding, you die.
Counteract Doomsday piles.
Exactly. Oh, you're Doomsdaying, got 5 cards. Let's play a sub game. Oh no, you only have 4 left? Sorry.
Oh no, you lose. Oh no.
Yeah, Zack.
I'm pretty sure it is you lose the sub game, but
if not,
it's a card that doesn't get played anywhere because even banned at Vintage.
Yeah, there is no format where this is legal to play. None. I don't even think people want to put this in their cubes.
My buddy had it in his power cube, but other people complained about it enough that he took it out.
Yeah.
I was a massive fan of it, and I love the card because it's funny like that. But as a serious answer, though, I think we could get Biorhythm back.
Oh, yeah.
In commander. It's like an
Yeah.
8 mana.
8 mana.
Yeah, 8 mana to make everybody's life total become equal to their power or equal number of creatures they control.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 mana, we're trying to win the game, and yeah, so it's the thing where I'm like, this card could be unbanned.
Yeah, and I think
It should be fine.
it's pointed out
I can
that
see that.
everyone is like, oh, but it's so bad if like you board wipe and then you cast a biorhythm and then everybody's life total becomes 0 unless you have like a creature that remained somehow after the board wipe. It's
Mhm.
like, but if I'm spending what seems to be a minimum of like 11 mana to instantly win the game, that seems fair, even in like a bracket
Right.
2 space, right? If we're
Yeah.
getting to the 11 mana stage of the game and maybe like 2 players don't have creatures out, so I cast Biorhythm and it just knocks them both out, that's fine. I don't see the
Right.
problem. Anyway, Zach, what's your
You can just play another game. Too.
yeah? Zach, what's
Right.
your bans and unbans for casual?
For casual bans, Smothering Tithe. I think that card is
Mhm.
way too good in every bracket.
Yeah,
Like it is a game changer, but at the same time, it's just too much of a game changer. I think.
yeah,
It is.
This is coming from someone who loves the
Yeah,
card
that's
and very
very-
much enjoys making lots of mana
yeah.
when people draw cards. I just think it's too good.
I mean, I remember one game I played with you, Zach, where I got Smothering Tithe out turn 2 and just ran away with the game completely because
Yeah.
nobody could pay for it, and then nobody drew cards to deal with it, and I was ahead 4 mana every single circle of the table, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I just think it boosts you up too easily, too quickly, and 2 mana to pay for every draw to like give someone a treasure. It's almost never justifiable to even pay for it. Like
Yeah.
Right.
it's putting you back way too much. Like at least with Rhystic Study, like which is another one that we could argue should be or shouldn't be banned. But like it's only 1 mana to pay for every spell you cast so that they don't draw a card, which drawing a card so much better than making a treasure. But it's also only 1 mana to pay
Yeah,
for
which
it
is a
compared to
huge
2 mana
difference.
to make a treasure,
Yeah,
like a temporary mana for someone. Like you almost never feel justified to pay for it unless you really have nothing else you're doing.
yeah. To quote Play to Win, the difference between 1 and 2 mana is huge.
It's 100% difference, right? I mean,
It's literally 100%.
statistically speaking, yeah.
So, what are you? Did you say what you were unbanning for casual?
I have not said what I was unbanned, but I think for an unban, honestly, I think unbanning some of the anti cards would be fun. Like having a hear me out.
Wait a minute.
I love these fights.
I think having a preemptive ante where it's like you're playing with your friends and like, hey, here's like a $1, $2 card. Get some stakes on the game, you know? Like it feels better.
That's so
I think it feels
funny.
okay.
That's so funny. I love that.
Hey, Josh, now you got to come up with a spicy unban.
Oh, my spicy unban? Oh, where was it? For
Yeah.
casual? Oh, Hole Breacher. Hole Breacher.
Right.
100%. Okay? And I have some hot takes about how I feel about some cards on the Game Changer list and Hole Breacher being on the ban list, okay? Because they introduced the Game Changer list, and they were like, these are some strong cards we're putting on there. And for the most part, I was like, yeah, these seem fair. These are strong cards. Some of them were kind of weird, but eventually they took them off. And then they did a second wave of cards going onto the Game Changer list. And in that second wave, they put Narset Parter of Veils and Notion Thief on the Game Changer list. And I do not agree, because I think, and I understand, I get it, they're very strong with wheels. People don't like having their hand wheeled away without getting another hand back, right?
Understandable.
But there are so many times in Commander games where some artifact deck or some creature deck with a Guardian Project, which lets you draw cards when creatures enter, like, they're just drawing card after card after card after card after card, and there's nothing
Guilty.
left in bracket 2 to challenge that. Because every card that says you can only draw 1 card per turn is on a Game Changer list or banned, because nobody likes it. What's his face? Leovold, Emissary of Trest, who is a legend who did a similar thing, who said you can only draw 1 card per turn. He was banned because he was in like the top colors for wheeling away your opponent's hands. If he had red in him, he just would have been a pre-ban, right? He never would have hit the format. But I think Hole Breacher was a perfectly fine effect. It's one of those things where I really wish Wizards would stop banning and putting cards on the game changer list that were answers to people's strategies, you know? And I understand that there's a fine line to be played at when it comes to trying to balance anti draw with a wheel existing in the game, but I really do think Hull Breacher is fine. I think we could put Hull Breacher on the game changer list and knock Narset and Notion Thief down to, regular card status. I really do think those cards are totally fine. I have no issues with them. I think players
Well,
need to learn to be careful with their card draw and not just fire off a shotgun blast of draw 70 cards in one turn because I know there's nothing in bracket 2 that can stop me, except for like one white card that nobody plays because it's bad.
yeah, especially stuff like Narset
Yeah.
being a planeswalker. Planeswalkers are notoriously easy to kill
Yeah.
in Commander.
One of the most easy to remove permanent types in the game because you just attack it, right? Run a flyer, run some form of evasion in your decks, right? You should be doing that anyway. Just take it out. Dude, you can lightning bolt Narset and it's gone, right? It's not a big deal. I really think Hull Breacher, Notion Thief, Narset Parter of Veils, get them out of there, let them be played, stop these, gross players who are just drawing 400 cards a turn, especially from effects like Rhystic Study. Just stop that. Get some help. As far as what I would ban, I don't know. I heard this said the other day, and I think I somewhat agree. Seedborn Muse should be looked at as a potential ban because of what it does to games, similar to what Prophet of Krufix used to do to games. For those who don't know, Prophet of Krufix was a Theros card. It was 3, a blue, and a green, so 5 mana for a 2/3. You may cast spells as though they had flash.
And then you untap all your lands during each untap step.
I think it's lands or all your permanents. The Seedborns untap everything.
Yeah, so Prophet of Prefix says, untap all creatures and lands you control during each other player's untap step. You may cast creature cards as though they had flash. And what Prophet of Krufix did to Commander back in the day was, you play it, and now you get 4 turns per turn rotation. You are playing all of your spells during everyone's turns, and you are getting so much extra time in the game that other people cannot compete with. And I think Seedborn Muse does a very similar effect. And it doesn't give you flash, but it still allows you to untap everything. And with the amount of flash enablers in the format, in things like High Fate Trickster, Vidalcan Orrery, Valley Floodcaller, Leyline of Anticipation, all those effects letting you play spells at instant speed, having Seedborn Muse out on the field is just begging for you to take your turn on top of everyone else's turns.
Especially when you have like a mana sink similar to like Thrasios.
Yeah, or just abilities, right?
You just pay mana into every turn.
If you just have abilities,
you're untapped.
You're using those every time. If you have 8 lands or 8 mana sources and a Seedborn Muse and a Thrasios, you're activating Thrasios twice a turn. And that takes time. Just scry 1, look at the top. Is it a land? No. Do I want it? No. Put it on the bottom. And, just do all that stuff. I think Seedborn Muse could go, and I think we'd be fine.
Yep, understandable.
That is very fair.
All right. So, the next question I'm going to talk about is a bit of a rules question that we got from Vic the Wizard. Shout out Vic the Wizard. He wanted to know the rules question of, can a colorless creature block a creature affected by protection from everything? And then he mentioned an effect that would give protection from everything as Akroma's Will, but Akroma's Will provides protection from all colors, which we'll get to. But Nate, you want to go over protection real quick?
Yeah, let me pull back up the card I was using as a reference. The Absolute Virtue from Final Fantasy, one of the cards people were super hyped about when it was spoiled, is a great example of what protection actually means. So protection means you can't be dealt damage, enchanted, targeted by, and that's pretty much the extent of it. And so in the form of creatures, if you had a creature with protection from black, it could not be blocked by black creatures because that's just what the protection does. I think those are all of the things that protection causes.
Yeah, so the acronym that I try to remember when it comes to protection and what it does is DET, like student loan debt, which is D is damage, E is enchanted, B is blocked, and T is targeted. So if a creature has protection from a color, it cannot be damaged, enchanted, blocked, or targeted by anything of that color. When it comes to protection from an opponent, you cannot be damaged by anything your opponent controls. You cannot be enchanted by anything your opponent controls. Your creatures cannot be blocked by anything your opponent controls. And you cannot be the target of any of your opponent's spells, abilities, or creatures your opponents control. So the reason that Absolute Virtue got a lot of hype around it was because it just gives you protection from all of your opponents, meaning your opponents cannot target you, they cannot block what you're doing, they can't try to slap an aura on you to bring you down a notch, and they can't even deal damage to you, even if, you can let their creatures through. They just can't touch you. So the question that he asks is, can a colorless creature block a creature affected by protection from everything? The answer is no, because protection from everything means that nothing in the game can damage it, enchant it, block it, or target it. So your colorless creature cannot block a creature protected from everything. However, a Chroma's Will says protection from all colors, which is different. If a creature has protection from colors, a colorless creature doesn't have colors, so it can still damage, enchant, block, or target a creature with protection from all colors.
Some notable exceptions to protection are stuff like board wipes. If you have a creature with protection from white and somebody plays Wrath of God, which is a sorcery for 2 and 2 white, it says destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. That will still kill the creature with protection from white because it's not meeting any of the qualifications for death.
Right, it's not damaging, it's not targeting.
Right. And so that will get rid of it. But one of the most played board wipes in Commander, Blasphemous Act, will be stopped by protection from red because it's trying to deal damage to things.
Yes.
That's a thing to keep in mind while playing with a mechanic that is not super common in Commander or in Magic as it used to be.
Right. Yeah, Zach, anything to add to this?
I think it's also notable that like if your creature is enchanted by like a permanent that is a specific color, and then they gain protection from every color, they does fall off majority of the time because it's no longer able to be enchanted by that permanent because it has protection.
Yeah, auras are checking.
So like a lot of Voltron decks.
Yeah. Auras are constantly checking to see if they are enchanting a legal target, and if the target that they are enchanting becomes illegal through protection or a similar effect, it does remove that enchantment.
Yep.
Right.
I think another thing to bring up too is like protection protects you from damage, not loss of life.
Yes.
This comes up a lot with like the One Ring protection once you cast that, where it's like, oh, you can no longer kill me, but there's a lot of cards that say each opponent loses this amount of life when this happens, and that would still get through the protection.
Yeah, so the One Ring famously, if you cast it when it enters, you get protection from everything until your next turn, which is one of the easiest ways to get protection from everything. And it's very strong, right? But if, say, you play the One Ring and you are like, oh, I'm so safe, I'm at, only 20 life, but I'm okay, and then I play Exsanguinate, each opponent loses X life, and I set the X to 20, you're still dead because you didn't take 20 damage, you lost 20 life, and that is different. Damage causes loss of life, but the reverse is not true.
Right.
Yep.
I think building on that, the probably more common thing will be an effect like Zulaport Cutthroat.
Yes.
Where if you're playing an Aristocrats deck and you're playing a card like Zulaport Cutthroat, which whenever a creature dies, each opponent loses life, that's going to get around the One Ring protection.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a more thing to keep an eye out for as somebody playing against One Ring and somebody playing One Rings. So it's a pretty common strat in Commander.
Yeah. So I hope that answered your question, Vic, about protection and all that. Protection is one of the more complicated things in Magic that we still deal with to this day. There are some more complicated things that we don't deal with anymore unless you're an old school player, things like banding. And if somebody asks us how banding works, I don't know, man, good luck. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
That's when you
I
get a
can
bunch
bring
of
it up.
friends together with instruments, and then you start playing music.
I thought it was
Yeah.
banding is when you take your unsleeved deck, put 2 rubber bands around it, and put it in your pocket so you can play with your friends during lunch.
That's pretty close. It's pretty
Okay.
close.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last question of the night. This is another great question from Tristan. He wanted to know our unpopular pet cards. He references that Mythos of Snapdax is his. Mythos of Snapdax is a 2 white sorcery, so 4 mana. Each player chooses an artifact, creature, enchantment, and planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control, and sacrifice the rest. If black-red was spent to cast this spell, you choose the permanents for each player instead. So, basically, if you pay 2 of any color and white, everybody's going to pick a permanent they control, sacrifice them. But if you pay specifically black, red, white, you pick the artifact, creature, enchantment, and planeswalker they get to keep, and they lose the rest.
Yeah.
Fun fact for this card, if anybody plays it or similar effects, if they have a creature that is also an artifact creature or an enchantment creature, you can pick that as their artifact and their creature.
Yep.
If they have like 12 creatures and they have an artifact creature and they have artifacts as well, you can make them get rid of basically all of those by picking their artifact creature as both their artifact and their creature.
It is pretty silly.
So Nate, what's your unpopular pet card?
So I have 2 that I really like to play, and I haven't played one of them as much. And that's Mirror Maid. Mirror Maid is an enchantment that costs 1 and double blue that says when you may have Mirror Maid enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact or enchantment on the battlefield. So basically a hybrid of copy enchant or copy artifact.
Yep.
And it's a lot of fun because you can copy somebody's Smothering Tithe, Rhystic Study, One Ring, including getting that enter the battlefield if you cast Trigger, which is super cool. It's just a super versatile card because almost every single Commander game you play, somebody's going to play an enchantment or an artifact that you want to copy, even if it's just an expensive copy of Sol Ring.
Yeah, Mirror Maid's a good pick. Zach, what do you got?
Yeah.
For me personally, I like the card Standstill. It is a 2 mana,
Oh, yeah.
one mana, 1 colorless, 1 blue enchantment that says whenever a player plays a spell, sacrifice Standstill. If you do, each of that player's opponents draws 3 cards. So it kind of puts the game to a standstill, where like nobody wants to cast anything because nobody wants to give everyone else 3 cards. But I think it's just such a fun, silly card that's like, I'm going to do everything on my turn. At the end of my turn, before I pass, I'm going to play it standstill and then see what people do.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
Also, notably, just
a
got a
fun card.
reprint in the Avatar: The Last Airbender set for the episode screenshot cards. They picked the
Yes.
episode where Katara freezes the rain around her, like stops the rain in its tracks. Very good art for that.
Yep.
I would say my favorite card that's very underplayed is Mandate of Peace from the Commander 2019 set. It's literally the only time it's ever been printed. It's 1 and a white for an instant. Cast this spell only during combat. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn. End the combat phase. I love it because it's a fun little combat trick for at the end of the game when everybody's making these big swings and just going crazy. You know, somebody plays a Craterhoof Behemoth on their board of 50 million creatures, and all of their creatures are 50 million power now. And they try to swing and end the game, and you say, nope, combat's over, no more spells. You're being put in combat jail now because of what you just tried to do. And it's a great way to cause such a huge blowout to an opponent who thought they had it in the bag.
Yeah. One of the great parts I love about that card too is it's just 2 mana.
Yeah. It's so cheap for that effect.
You can kind of sandbag those type of cards where I'm like, oh man, I wish I had 1 more mana so I could do this other cool thing I want to do.
Yeah.
While you're secretly actually wanting to just hold up that 2 mana for that spell to deal with the issue of somebody who's clearly going to swing out.
Yeah, just keeping up that 2 mana is not that hard in the end game when you know somebody's going to be swinging out.
I did want to jump in for the other pet card that I absolutely love.
Oh, right.
It is Midnight Clock.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a artifact that is for 2 and a blue that can tap for 1 blue mana, or you can pay 2 and a blue to put an hour counter on it. And then it has an ability at the beginning of each upkeep, put an hour counter on it. And then if there are 12 or more hour counters on it, you exile it, shuffle your graveyard hand into your library, and draw 7 new cards. It is a fun card that wheels myself and leaves everybody else to hand alone. But also, it's fun to I have something to do on everybody's turn, even if it's just making a clock noise and letting people, keep going with what they're doing.
Right. No, that is a really cool card. It's a very delayed time twister for yourself, but even a delayed time twister is a very good card.
And 3 turns, and you got the mana rock that whole time. So
yeah.
Plus, you have the commander now. That's like Rusko, the clockmaker.
Yeah,
whatever,
on
the mystery booster. That's such a crazy card.
He is the only commander I play in Brawl. I'm waiting for the day that they give me Battle of Wits in Arena, so that way I can live the dream of conjuring enough cards into my Brawl deck in there to make it 200 cards to win off of it.
Amazing.
I'm going to be honest, Nate, if you want to build a paper Rusko Clockmaker commander deck, I will let you play that, because that is completely up your alley.
Well,
there is a legal version of Rusko.
There's a paper version, not a legal version.
Yeah, there's a paper version, yeah.
He's got the acorn, which is unfortunate because I don't think that his ability is broken enough to make it so he's not paper legal. It's just because he says conjure on him.
Yeah.
You could have said make a token. You could have changed him for paper to be like make a token copy of Midnight Clock.
Yeah.
And that would have been perfectly fine.
Because there's cards that make Tarmogoyf tokens. And Midnight Clock is more complicated than Tarmogoyf, but I think you could still easily say make a token, make a Midnight Clock token,
Yep.
Well, there's the one commander like Garth One Eye or something like that, where it's like you tap him and you conjure, but like it's not conjure, but like you still get a power 9 card of some kind, or like Black Lotus or something like that.
Yeah, it's Disenchant, Regrowth, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, or Black Lotus. So it's classic.
So you're basically conjuring.
Yeah,
it's just you're getting that card to your hand. So
yeah. So with the clock guy in general, kind of going down that lines, there's a friend I have here. He's one of the community leaders for Magic at Pro Souls. He's been sitting on a Mystery Boosters 2 box for a while, and he's like, when are we going to do a draft? When are we going to do a draft? So
make it Christmas time so I can come down and do it too. I'm in.
Well, it might be because he keeps bringing it up and nobody's brought up stuff. And he's also talked about how he'd be willing to do a buy-in for it where you pay money and you just get to keep your packs.
Yeah, I'd be down.
That would be cool.
Open the future site board or Urza. Heck yeah.
Yeah, but I'm hoping with that we'll get the clock ban and I'll be able to get it off of him, and then I'll build a commander deck that I can play with it. Because technically, casual play, I could be wrong with this, so I'll have to look it up to verify. But as far as I understand, for casual play, you can play with any card printed by Wizards of the Coast. Like if it was made by them, you can use it for like casual play, which is basically a form of playing at a store. So you can play with Silver Border in store as a technically legally backed Wizards tournament. It's just you have to do it in a really weird roundabout way. And I'll have to relook into that. Might be wrong on that, but I'm going to build Clockman. I've also got a My Little Pony deck because I have a buddy who really likes My Little Pony, and both of us got that secret lair.
Yep.
And then they finally finished the cycle. So I've got a My Little Pony deck that I don't really ever play, but it'd be fun to bust out occasionally just to be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should make a bracket 1 clock deck with Rusko. It's all clock or time theme.
Oh, jeez. That would be tricky.
I don't know if there's enough cards for that, but
quick Scryfall search.
Suspend and fading.
Quick Scryfall search shows 29 cards with clock in their name at least. Several of them are, of course, silver bordered.
You do like time travel, like from Doctor Who stuff.
I think if you ran blue-black, you'd be just fine.
Yeah, and if you did stuff with vanishing and suspend, you could go with that whole kind of clock theme to go along with it.
I think you could
do a fun, interesting deck. But if I'm going to build the deck, I'm going to probably have it like a powerful 3, maybe a weak 4.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a lot of game changers in there, but I do want to make a lot of clocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you smell what the time is cooking?
Exactly.
Yep.
Come on. Can you spell what the clock is cooking? Was right there.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
All right. Well, what have you guys been doing outside the game? What have you guys been up to lately? Zach still just working, and you're
Always working,
yeah,
living life. Avatar came out, super hyped, super excited.
yeah. You and your
Super
partner are
fun
getting a
set.
lot of cards for that, right? You're getting a lot of product.
Yeah, we got like 3 commander bundles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Her birthday's tomorrow. My fiance's birthday's
Oh,
tomorrow.
well, tell her happy
So
birthday from
she's
us.
saving one of them to open. So yeah, and I will let her know.
Yeah, yeah.
Does she have like a favorite one of the characters that she hasn't got yet?
Her favorite is Toph, which we did get a Toph's metal bender, first metal bender. And so we're going to
Gotcha.
build the deck for that. But she wants
Nice.
all of the Avatar cards because she's obsessed with Avatar. So we're slowly
Okay.
working on getting everything.
Yeah, like I said, like
Oh,
I
man.
messaged you the other day. If you guys get a Badger Mole Cub, can I have it? Like,
Well,
there's some stuff
I've
for it.
actually got 2.
Oh, you've got some?
Surprisingly, we
kinda-
have not pulled a Badger Mole Cup yet. But we are hoping.
Yeah. So, funnily enough, I have some really good friends that were not super stoked with how Magic was going. They're very much a fan of 1v1 game formats.
Sure.
So,
Yep.
when that kind of died off in the area, they're like, all right, well, we're going to do something else. And around that same time, Lorcana took off. For our listeners who might not know, which would be a little surprising because Lorcana's got popped off pretty hard.
I think you've also
Lorcana
talked
is-
about Lorcana every single episode so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. It's not. I don't like it as much as I like Magic, but I do enjoy playing it, partially for the nostalgia reasons. Lorcana is
Plus
the Disney
Disney's
card
just cute.
game. Yeah, right. Disney card game that started up when they're doing it, so everybody's super hyped about it. They've kind of switched over to that. For the pre-release, the husband of this duo, he came for 2 pre-releases, and then she came for 1 for the Two-Headed Giant, so they could play together. Because both of them are massive Avatar: The Last Airbender fans, so they just wanted to come play with the Last Airbender stuff. They opened a pre-release promo, Badger Mole Cup, and I was like, "Hey, I want that," and they're like, "Okay, we'll talk about it after." And so I ended up getting it from them, and they're like, well, we don't need any of the rest of these cards, so here you go, take all of the kits.
Amazing.
So that was pretty great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would love, obviously, ideally, I would love the Field Notes foil, but that's like $60 to $80 or something like that.
Yeah.
These are still
let me
pre-sale
check.
prices, so it's a good chance I might
Right.
drop quite a bit once the general public is able to sell. But
Yeah. I have.
Yeah, okay. Field Notes foil is $100. Let's just go with the standard one or a Field Notes non-foil.
I do have a friend that he opened a Field Notes foil in his pre-release kit, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
crazy, and I'm like, I want it, and he's like, I want it too. I'm like, that's fair enough.
understandable. Have a
Right.
nice day.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I don't know if this one will go down. There's some talk about it doing some stuff in standard,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know if it'll
You can get
go down for
Just
a while.
never buy
mana
pre-sale
on
prices.
Turn 3. 10 mana on turn 3 with Badger Mole Cub.
Oh, jeez.
Turn 1,
That's awesome.
play a land, Land of Elves. Turn 2, play another land. Use that new land and Land of Elves to play a Badger Mole Cub. Animate the land from turn 1. Now that one taps for 2. Tap it for 2 mana. Play a second Badger Mole Cub. Animate the land you played this turn. Next turn, untap your 2 lands that are Earthbent. Your Land of Elves all now tap for 3 mana. Play another land.
Yeah, that's pretty
10
good.
mana, there you go. You die real hard to like a whip flare effect or a thing that does 2 damage to everybody, but I don't really think those are in standard right now.
There is a -2/-2 to all creatures in Avatar.
There is, but that's 3 mana, so you'd have to be on the draw if you were going to have that wipe you before you got to have access to that 10 mana. Granted, that is having 3 very specific cards in a 60 card deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to have 2 of your 4 copies of Badger Mole Cub, but just the option of being able
Still a
to hey, I'm going to
possibility.
play Craterhoof Behemoth on turn 3
With 3 or 4 creatures
Which-
out already too.
with
Yeah.
5
well,
creatures in play.
Your lands.
because your lands are
Yeah,
now
your lands are
creatures.
creatures too.
Yeah.
So all your creatures are getting +6/+6.
And you can swing with the
and you've
Badgermole
got
Cubs and Craterhoof.
and Llanowar. I think you would only need your lands to tap for for the amount that you
I
need.
never remember how much Craterhoof is worth costed.
It's
pretty
8.
crazy.
It's 5 and 3 green.
No, you need Llanowar elves because
You would need
Yeah.
Llanowar else. Yeah.
But then you'd
Oh,
also
well.
still
But still,
have
you're
a mana up for something like Snakeskin Veil. So if somebody tries to
yeah.
remove one with Get Lost or something like that, you're like, ha, nope.
Yeah,
So,
no, I think the math works out because your creatures are now, you've got 4 creatures plus 2 land creatures. They're all getting +6/+6. So your Crater Hoof becomes an 11. Your 2 Badger Moles become 8s. You swing out, it's death on turn 3.
Yeah.
In Magical Christmas Land, where they have no creatures to block and they have no interaction, you kill them on turn 3 with this.
Yeah, and if you could pull it off, it is probably going to be a thing where it's like they're down to super low life totals, and they have no more blockers, and then you keep swinging with the Crater Hoof.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's also not too crazy Magical Christmas Land, because the craziest Magic Christmas Land about that is drawing the second Badger Mole Cub.
Yeah. So, Nate, what have you been up to outside of Magic?
Outside of Magic, not really doing a whole lot since last week. This last weekend was ate up a lot by the pre-release, so didn't really get to do a whole lot between the weeks. Yeah, mostly just working, getting hyped for Avatar. Got the little things I talked about last week, the little trinket trade things done.
Yeah, I got the pictures you sent. Those look really fun.
Yep. And the best part about them is that they're edible. So
Nom, 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 nom.
Yep.
Those seem really cool.
Probably need to order some more of the sprinkles so that way I can have a stash on hand, so I can just randomly eat them when I'm trading them.
Refill people's bottles.
Yep. And so
that's fun.
But yeah, other
Just
than that,
shots.
Right. Getting prepped for the convention I've talked about basically every single week going up here. I'll have to figure out something new.
It's exciting.
After that happens.
Yeah.
We'll be finishing up.
Yeah, let me know when you're driving down so I can be ready for that.
Well, we're going to figure out I'm going to talk to people on Thanksgiving because that's when my brother will be in town, and we'll all be in the same spot, and we'll be able to talk about who's what time we want to leave, that kind of stuff. We're staying at a hotel which doesn't have food, which I've noticed is kind of a thing more with hotels now.
That's lame.
Like a lot of hotels just don't have breakfast anymore.
Weird. Usually they have like some kind of breakfast,
right?
Even if it's like a grab and go kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the hotel I stayed at last year and the hotel we're staying at this year both are like, we have a restaurant. We're like, ooh. I mean, that's fine for me and my older brother because both of us are pretty established. While he's, got a very well-paying job, I'm working 2 jobs. So I've got the income to, if I wanted to, go out and eat every single meal while I'm down there. But my little sister, who we're going with, she has a bunch of health stuff that makes it so she can't work, or she doesn't feel comfortable with going and getting a normal job because she doesn't want to get a job and then have people go and depend on her, and then her feel like she's disappointing them by not being able to come into work because she's just not able to because she overdid it one day.
Health reasons, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, understandable.
So she's got a lot less of a disposable income, so we'll have to figure out food stuff. It's probably going to be, we'll bring a cooler down, we'll get some stuff there, probably just do microwave breakfast sandwiches and then have a bunch of snacks for eating while we're walking around the con, because that's usually a pretty good con thing.
Nice.
Yeah, granola bars, man.
Yeah, I guess that is another thing that could have gone in the outside of Magic is with the if you're going to an event, make sure you bring snacks.
Yes,
that is snack up is is definitely a thing. My first big event I did not have any like food stuff on me, and I was in the main event, and it was all day long, and I was like super hungry by the end of it. It was absolutely wild. So don't even make the same mistake I did. Bring things to munch on.
I also have one for the things I wish Magic players were more aware of outside of Magic. How much of a cutie patootie they are.
Good.
That's a good include.
Good reminder.
Yep.
Good include.
I would say for my stuff outside the game here, we spent the week with another one of my wife's friends. Went down to Salt Lake to go check out some things there. Went to IKEA for the first
Oh,
time. That's
yeah.
an interesting experience.
Oh,
Not a lot of that interesting stuff, I guess, when you're broke, but still
you
kind of
guys
a
get
cool
the
experience.
meatballs?
No,
Meatballs.
we did get this bottle of juice though, and it sucked, man. It was so bad. It was like drinking stale apple juice, but it smelled like somebody's. It tasted like you were like somebody's bathroom candle.
Mm.
Somebody's
Yeah.
winter Christmas themed bathroom candle. As you were drinking it, that's all you could smell, and so it just tasted like a candle. It was bad, man. Don't do it. Don't get it.
Tell me, don't eat candles.
But yeah, don't eat candles. Yeah, don't do it. But also while we were driving there, we listened to a lot of music, of course, because I'm a big music guy. I love music, play music, listening to music, everything. So a band recommendation for all of you out there: Raynes, Raynes. Raynes. Super great band. They have a really fun, almost like modern bluegrass feel to
Hmm.
them. I love listening to them. They've got some songs that are just really upbeat and really strong and powerful and feel so good to listen to. So yeah, maybe I'll put it in the show notes. But yeah, Raynes, great artist. Highly
Definitely, we'll
recommend.
check them
Yeah.
out. Another great artist, Steve Brown.
Yes.
Yeah. As we get to the end of the episode here, yeah, if you like the music that comes at the start and at the end of every episode, that is done by Steve Brown. You can find his music at Steve Brown Songs. Maybe one of these days, I'll share the secret of how I met the man.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy!
What a
Yeah, no,
story.
I'll stop
incredible
at
guy.
you.
Sang at my wedding actually.
He did.
If you guys remember.
He did.
Yeah, great guy. Great guy. Yeah, it's music done by Steve Brown. Find him at stevebrownsongs.com. Excellent music. Our podcast image is done by Shadow Ecclepex. He great artist. If you want to reach out for him for commissions, you should just be able to Google that name, and I imagine his page will show up, right, Nate?
It should. I can also have him shoot me a link so we can start adding it to the show notes.
Perfect. Yeah, we are on Instagram and Twitter as Manabonded. So if you want, you can shoot us a message there, DM us. We're posting about our updated episodes. And hopefully, here in a little bit, we'll get somebody who can handle the social media a little bit better so we can be more active over there. If you have questions for us or if you have things you want advice on, scenarios, situations you come across and you want our input, go ahead and email us at manabonded@gmail.com. We'll get those and we'll add them to our notes and we'll get them answered as soon as we can. If you like what you're listening to, go ahead and leave us a review on the platform you're listening on, either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. We are on most podcast streaming sites. Leave us a review, leave us a comment about what you loved, any questions you have, and we'll get to those too as fast as we can.
This podcast was made possible by listeners like you.
Thank you. All right, well, that'll do it for us this week, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
See ya.
Oh, man. So
Nate, did you want to say bye?
Oh. Bye.
Adios.
Right. Talking about this, feel free to cut this out, Josh, or cut out this part if you feel like leaving it in. One thing that I had mentioned to people at the shop here and joked about is the buy a box promo firebending student.
Yeah.
Didn't really think about anything until this weekend, and I was looking at it. And I'm like, oh, that art has just straight up got this lady's foot right
Oh
up,
no.
right up in front and center in the card, like the
Yep.
bottom of her foot, full splendor, full glory, and yeah. So it's like, all right, some people are gonna find that some kind of way.
Oh no.
We don't kink shame here, but not my thing. Not my thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I'll
like
think about
I'm
whether
just straight
or
up
not
like,
this makes the episode, but
right. It's like I feel like that could be cut out, but I was just wanted to bring it up because it's funny.
yeah.
I nicknamed it the Dan Schneider.
Oh no.
The Dan Schneider cut. The Dan Schneider cut you.
No.